He went by a half according to this here in the telegram. Epitaph. I got the horse right here.
Everyone, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner. I'm Mike, he's Drew. We're going to go through the 7 races on the Hastings program, the Friday night program. First race goes at 7:15. Drew, not the best of conditions. We're probably going to have to look for some wet track specialists.
Totally. It's been a pretty bad week here in Vancouver, lots of rain. Yeah. The forecast says it's going to rain probably, maybe get nice, hopefully, pray to God, Sunday. Be great for Hastings if we have a nice day on Sunday for the Belmont, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. The forecast doesn't look too shiny.
No, it doesn't look great, but still the racing looks great. We do have 7 races tonight, 8 on Saturday and 8 on Sunday, and of course Saturday, the big day, the Belmont Stakes with our own Mario Gutierrez.
Mario Gutierrez going for the Triple Crown.
Yeah, Drew post 11 out of 12 in the Belmont.
I like that. I like the outside post.
It's okay. I mean, it can't hurt him. It won't get him beat, I don't think, the post.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just, you know, the 1 hole might have been a little tricky, but the 11 hole.
Anything on the outside I think is good. Outside in the Derby, outside in the Preakness. Go with what's been good to you.
That's right. Stay out there. The horse seems to love it, and so does Mario. They've been a great team so far. But we'll get to that race tomorrow. But let's go
Friday's card.
Let's into the Friday Night Live here. First leg of the early pick 4 will be the first race on Friday. We have a couple of pick 4s. We do have some fillies and mares here. 12-5 claimers to go, 6.5 furlongs. First half of your double as well. I've gone to the 7-horse Flying Tiger. She did lose to Random Highs. The 1 horse has just been on a crazy tear of late, but didn't get the best of trips that day. I think she'll like the wet track conditions. She might get the trip in behind the 3, Nicotiana, and the 4 include the Grand, who appear to be the speed. It looks like the 3 and the 4 are going to go to the front, and maybe Vying Tiger can just lay just in behind them and maybe pounce on those tiring leaders. But might get first run on Random Highs. I did, of course, pick Random Highs in for second, and the 5, Victory of the Class, in for third. Probably not much between these 3 fillies. They look like probably a pretty smart triactor box of all the 1, 5, and 7. But I did try Vying Tiger on top.
You must have been looking over my shoulder again, Mike. I'm right with you. 7-1-5. Vying Tiger hasn't had the best trips this year.
No.
She was trapped out on the inside, and not really the way she wants to run. Drops to a low at 12-5. I think she fits really good into here. Like you say, with a clean trip, I think she's probably the horse to beat. Random Highs, as you said, been on a tear. Tough to go against her, but I did side with the one you picked, Vying Tiger, and Victory with Class. Those do look like the standouts in this race.
Yeah,
so,
the one also thing to note is sometimes, especially when the track gets a little heavier as the rains come, that weight becomes a factor. And Random Highs is paying the penalty for winning. Like she's packing $124, and that's that can get because she just got there last time against some pretty fast fractions, and I thought she should have really zipped by and won easy.
Yeah,
she just got there as by a desperate neck, and there was Olive and Nicotiana. They were going 22-45, and the race really did fall apart. And I was just a little disappointed. I loved that she won because we picked her, and just a little disappointed how desperate it was.
She should have been a little bit more convincing.
And they show up
those fractions.
Yeah, you're right. So that was my take on it. That's the only reason I'm trying to beat Random Highs with Vying Tiger.
And on to the second, 12-5 wide open for boys, the boys' end, older boys. And I went to the 5 here, Peace Bear. I looked at this race a few times. It's a pretty contentious race. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it. Full Power Ahead looks tough, Whistler Gold. But I think Peace Bear is going to kind of get things his own way in here. He's either going to be on the lead. If Arkill's a little sharper, and he broke good last time, was right near the front. Right. If he takes the lead, he can lay just off him. If nobody takes the lead, he can take it and predict kind of the race from there. So he was on a tear at this level, went up to that 17-5. That was won by Tommy Danziger. That turned out to be a pretty tough race.
That was long, too. He's back
sprinting. Exactly, back sprinting. So I went with Peace Bear. The second spot I went with Whistler Gold, a horse that crushed last time the 17-5 conditional race, the non-2, non-3. The horse he beat, Roses for Ben.
Came back to win another non-2.
Came back to win. Another horse was in that race, True Grit. He came back and won. So
a live race?
Yeah, that turned out to be a pretty live race. He won pretty convincingly that day, so he's pretty live in here too. And Full Power Ahead, the one who's taken the big drop from 25 down to 12.5, cuts his price in half. Maybe I'm not giving him enough respect by having him in third spot, but like I say, I think it's a pretty contentious race. that's the way I went. I like Peace Bear because of the pace scenario more than anything.
Yeah, our buddy Craig McPherson's not going to love us much in
yeah,
top 2 in here.
And we're not picking him.
I don't have him on top 2, or top 3 either. Unfortunately, I've got Full Power Ahead in front.
Yeah.
I'm still going to bank on a fast pace in here. I think Whistler Gold's probably going to flash some speed from his inside gate. Matchable's got speed.
Yeah.
Peace Bear will contribute to the fractions. And I just think Full Power Ahead might get the run of the race. Just sit last. Just bide your time and make one big, bold move and see if it's good enough. And a lot of times in the slop it is. Other times when you get that sealed, wet fast, it's not good enough because the speed just keeps rolling.
Yeah.
But it's a little early to decide what kind of track it's going to be, but I'm hoping it does favor, at least be fair for the closers anyway. He's a horse that won 4 times last year. He's a cool horse. I know that a lot of the races were cheaper. I know he was just kind of in the race to fill it for his stablemate Storm and Proud Papa last time, but still he gave a good account of himself. He wasn't disgraced at all in 116 flat, so he gets things a lot easier. I put him in the winner's spot, Whistler Gold and Peace Bear in behind. I got the same 3 as you, but I went to Full Power Ahead. I'm banking on a pace stool. All right, on to the third race. Got some 17.5 3-year-olds here, going 6.5 furlongs. Got a field of 7 going postward, and there's a bit of speed in here. I had a little trouble with this race. Almost as much trouble as I had with the 5-horse field in the last. But I went to the 3-horse El Nacho. Had the unenviable task of going with Sir Hayden last time on the head end. Yeah. Took its toll late. He ended up a tired 4th behind Wilo Cat and Sir Hayden. I just don't. I do see speed in here. Veni Vidi Vici and Notice Sal has pretty good speed, but I don't see the Sir Hayden kind of speed in here. And I think El Nacho is going to get things pretty comfortable. Marlowe Dunn returns to the tack. They did win a similar type race a month ago, and were disqualified, but still, at least they got along well together. Has the inside draw for the speed, I would think, and I think El Nacho is going to take this field gate to wire. I put the 1 Royal Victor in for 2nd and the 2 Canucks Roar in for 3rd. And the Canucks Roar, but last time he ran good is about when the Canucks fans were still roaring. Now it's King's Roar. But Royal Victor, the 1 horse, I like him quite a bit. If anyone upsets El Nacho, it'll be the 1 horse, I believe. Was in... didn't get the best of trips. Kind of lost position. Wasn't anyone that really did it to him, but I just think he kind of maybe did it to himself. He broke so good. Kind of got fanned out a little bit on the first turn. Overreacted, went about 5 wide, and he ended up, he was like the last heading down the backstretch. Here's a horse that was almost near the lead heading into the turn and come out of it last. You're not going to make up that kind of ground in 17 and 2. You're not, unless you're much the best, which he wasn't. But I give this horse another chance. Gets apprentice Alex Marty, and I put the 2 Canucks Roar, who also exits that same Wilo Cat race. I think those are the 3 horses. They're coming out of the tough dash, and I thought they ran the best. I went 3, 1, and 2.
I went totally opposite of you here, Mike. Totally threw that one out. I went with Notice Sal.
I went with him last time.
Yeah, you had him last time when he got the win. The Canmore barn, Tracy McCarthy's barn, is red hot right now. This horse is on the improve. You can kind of throw out that first race. We had this talk, I think, last week about their first race. A lot of times they're just trying to figure it out, get an experience over the course, and figure things out. And he really figured it out. Pretty convincing win, even though it was just for 10 last time. He did it pretty handily, and I think he's on his way up the ladder. Amadeo sticks with him, and he had some other options in here. So I got Notice Sal on top. The second horse, I took a bit of a flyer on Ton of Pride. Harold Barry's another guy who's heating up a little bit, and he thought enough of this horse to run him in the Ascot last year, and he ran 5th. Come out the first time, I think things kind of went a little bit awry. It was his first start of the year, that 25 last time. Right. I look for him to improve a lot in this race. I really think he can. And in 3rd spot, I have El Nacho, the logical horse who'd already win for 25 this year. But I took a couple flyers kind of on top. I went 4, 5, 3.
Yeah, it's good to just stray from the norm sometimes. And I know it's not a race where you can
kind of do that to 3-year-olds.
For a few of them, they do trade victories. There's no consistent performer in there.
Exactly. So a little bit of a... Looking for a little bit of an upset in that one.
Sal. All right.
Notice Sal. On to the 4th, Fillies and Mares Maiden 5. Full field of 11 in here. And I went to the 9. This is where I go more with a favorite here. I went back to logical choice. I went with Waif. Horse that got beat for Maiden 10 last out. Drops in for Maiden 5. It got beat by LA Superior Court, who's really fast.
Yeah, came back to run good. LA Superior Court in that non-2 17.5. Just got beat late
against the older
by
horses,
Mercado and Cassia. That was a good race.
Yeah, so LA Superior Court's pretty tough filly.
Legit.
Yeah, she couldn't run her down that day. She made a run at her, but she was drawn off. So I think Waif is a logical choice in here. The second spot I put Classy Edge, a horse that seems like it should be showing more, and she just doesn't. She hasn't yet, and keeps cutting her price, cutting her price, cutting her price. Now she's down near the bottom for 5. I think that maybe is enough to get her in the mix a bit. Gonzalez sticks with her. And in the third spot, I took number 4, Market Time. Another horse that's just been knocking on the door in these kind of races. Ran second last time to Victoria B as a favorite. That was a horse of Frank Barry's that got out there with Amadeo and took off. So it's 9-3-4 for me.
Yeah, I see the same 3. I think you're bang on, Drew. I went to the 3, though, Classy Edge on top. I'm just going to switch them around a bit. But showed good speed last time and then opted to take back and was really green in the slop. Once she took back, she went from like 2 back to 6 back, and it was like
a couple jumps.
Cost her a lot of position. And LA Superior Court ran around there pretty fast, in 18, and tough to make up. She was running well at the end of the race. I'm going to give her another shot. I hope they just go to the front with her and just say goodbye, hello, starter.
Catch us if you can.
Yeah. And that's the way I see it. I put Market Time in for second. I thought that was a good runner-up effort to Victoria B. Once again, the time was very good as well. Kind of unlucky to hook into a horse that freaked like that. Victoria B was just awesome for Frank Barry. Frank's having a great season as well. And I put the 9 Waif in for third. Just an off-the-pace type that had a perfect trip last time. Draws outside, 11 horses, might not get the same perfect trip, and that's the only reason I kind of going to lean to the pace horses, the 3 and the 4. So I went 3, 4, and 9, but I agree with you. Those look like the 3 horses here in the 4th race, which does kick off the pick 4 because there are 7 races tonight.
That's right, yeah.
In the 5th race, kicking off the late pick 3, we do have some $5,000 conditional non-winners of the year going 3.5 furlongs. Just a little short dash here to start at the head of the backstretch and head around to the finish line. So just one quick turn for you. I went to the 2-horse Oh to Be Lucky. Showed good speed, and you want a speed horse. So this horse went 22, 45, and 1. Was nowhere to be found after. Well, actually, he was still there at the head of the lane with a very talented Passion Red. It was a little bit better than a $5,000 or $3,000 type horse. So I hooked into a kind of a bear on the head end there. And I know he's going to have to face Victim of Love, JJ's Orchid. There's some mares in here like Nudge Nudge Wink Wink and Sonia's Main Girl. But I think he's the fastest of the bunch. Nicely drawn in gate 2. I'm going to try Oh to Be Lucky to defeat the 10-year-old Victim of Love and the 6 JJ's Orchid. But Oh to Be Lucky and Pat Jarvis.
I went with Victim of Love, the old prize fighter in this field. He's won almost half his starts at this distance, 13.6, 3 seconds. Yep. This is a softer field. He always runs in these 3.5 races. And this is a softer field than he's been facing.
Yeah, they've been open 3 and 4,500.
Exactly. So this is a much softer field than he has faced in these 3.5 furlong races. He gets a nice post position in the outside draw. Pedro knows this horse very well. I think this is his race to lose. I do have your Oh to Be Lucky in the 2nd spot, like you say, a horse that was setting fast fractions. We saw it last week with Ron Principe's horse, a horse that had been setting fast fractions and kind of dying. Switch into one of these 3.5 races and 1-turn race and win it. And in the 3rd spot, I put Nudge Nudge Wink Wink. 4-year-old filly who's shown a lot of speed.
That's fine. Good pick.
She's shown a lot of speed and quick filly in her life. So I put her in the 3rd spot. So it's 7, 2, and 1 for me. And on to the 6th, the beginning of the late double. And this is a really good race, $25,000 race for older horses. And a lot of nice horses in here, but I think the 4, Heavenly Course, just looks like a standout. He's a pretty solid horse. He's 7 years old now. But I remember going back a while to that race last year. He ran 2nd to St. Liam's Halo, first start of the year. Everybody was kind of, oohed and awed. Looked like a really nice horse. Come back, only got beat a length and a half in the first stake of the year by almost time in them. Then showed up in on optional 50, the one that 3 would won. There was quite a bit of speed in that race, and he was up near that pace, and kind of ran disappointing. So Greg puts him in here for $25,000. Just looks like the class of the race. He looks like a best bet of the day kind of horse. So I have him on top, and I have an Invader Newfound Gold, the 5 horse in the 2nd spot. Larry Ross ran one up here last week on Sunday.
Won.
Got hung way out wide and just got beat about a length. Yes, Mike picked that
only one. Whatever it was. It was only 2nd, though.
Yeah, it was only, that's right. I think I might have picked the winner. I can't remember. Man Overboard.
Yes, you did. Yeah, Snuck up the inside, and this one got the
better
3
trip.
and 4 wide trip.
Larry Ross is...
bottom line is that you're saying is that he sends up live horses.
He sends up live horses. Larry Ross is a really, really solid trainer.
Horseman.
Absolutely. For years, always had top horses. Know how to get a horse ready. Yeah, if you send one up here, it's for a reason. So, but I don't think he was anticipating running into a horse like Heavenly Chorus in a race like this. So I have him in the second spot. And the third spot, I'm leaving out horses like Pop Artist and Bear Rock and Roll, but I have Bon Bonnie in the third spot.
Tough trip last time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. 2 tough trips in a row. He got...
He got bumped up. Anyway, he got the win.
Yeah, Pop Artist kind of shut him off in the first turn. Then he come back in that other 25 that Prince and 10 won. Now he got a little time off, and he shows up for 25. He's tough, but I just think he's in the third spot in this one. So it's 4, 5, 6 for me.
Yeah, I like the 4-horse Heavenly Chorus. I agree. Yeah. Perhaps just a tad too close to the pace. Perhaps figuring that he could do anything he wanted with Heavenly Chorus last time. Pedro kind of had him close, 22 flat, 45, and I think he wants to be held back a bit and make a run. Yeah. He's an old horse, 7 years old. He really can't alter his running. You just got to kind of throw the lines at him.
Let him do what he wants.
Do what you want to do, guy, and we'll move when you want to move, type of thing. You can't override certain types of horses. He's colt too, and or horse. But I like him a lot. He, class drop. He's a cool horse.
Yeah.
I put the 6-horse Bon Bonnie, as we talked about, kind of a tough trip. Didn't break well, but he doesn't usually break well. He's not great leaving the gate. Yeah. Sometimes he causes a lot of his own misfortunes, but I like him in for second, and I put Pop Artist, classy guy, in for third. Unlucky horse. As you mentioned, impeded Bon Bonnie, but that's up for debate. Yes, Dino? There was nothing there. There was no room. Yeah, Stevie, shut him off.
Yeah, a little bit of rubbing.
It depends what side of the fence you're on with each horse. But the bottom line, at the end of the race, those two are very close in ability. So it's tough to separate Bon Bonnie and Pop Artist. But Heavenly Chorus, I think, is separated from a lot of these, and I think he'll be awfully tough to beat. So I agree with you, Drew, on the 4 Heavenly Chorus. On to the 7th and final. We do have some $5,000 claimers. Non-winners of the year going 6.5 furlongs. Exactor, Triactor, the Super High 5. I went to the 8-horse Passion Red, as I mentioned him earlier, a horse that ran into Oh to Be Lucky in the last time they hooked up. This horse did have pace pressure. Then he got Evaluate, came lapped right on him, and he fended him off. I love that. Yeah. I love when I see a classy old horse, because he used to run for more money. He's got some back class Passion Red, and he's not facing an overly tough crew, either talent-wise or pace-wise. And so I think the outside post, Alex Marty, they should be able to control things. I like Passion Red to win it. I put the 6 Swangs and the 3 Ambike in behind, kind of interchangeable horses. Amadeo rode Swangs last time, moves to Ambike, but I don't know if that's the better one. That's kind of a guess, I think. But I went 8, 6, and 3, but I really like Passion Red. I got the same horses, but I mixed them around. I did put Swangs on top. He's had some troubled trips this year. The one that he won, he battled with Dictatorship the whole way, put him away and won. That was an impressive race. Then he came back and he was kind of had a bad luck race. He was he didn't break well. He got squeezed leaving the gate.
Then he was wide,
rushed up and 3 wide. I know the pace wasn't fast, but still he had a lot to overcome.
Yeah, so it wasn't the best of scenarios for him. That was a while ago. Now he comes back. So he's had some time off. He should be on his game. Fernando Perez picks up. Amadeo does go to the 3 Ambike, but I put that horse below. Fernando is, it's no problem picking up Fernando. He's riding really well right now.
You get any Perez's, you're doing
okay. If you got Perez, you're in a good spot.
Perez, F Perez, doesn't matter.
If you get Perez, you're probably pretty happy. So I got Swangs on top. I have Ambike in the second spot. This is a horse that looks like it's been running higher and probably a pretty tough horse, but it hasn't ran since February, where these other two have been running. So I think they have a bit more of a fitness edge. So I have it in second spot, and I have Passion Red, your horse, in third spot. So it's 6, 3, and 8 for me.
Let's throw in Mo Power for the superfecta.
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
High, actually, not superfecta, it's a high 5. But Mo Power and
that's another one that you can make a case for. Absolutely.
Who else am going to throw in for a super high 5? Maybe turn again, Taylor. Coming in from Miles City, Montana. For those who wonder what MC is,
I was wondering what that is.
Miles City, well, Greg Tracy's from Montana.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is a bush track in Montana, Miles City,
but he was making no mistake there.
He broke the track record. I can tell you that. I looked up the chart.
Did you?
I had some spare time on my hands, but
no speed limits in Montana.
He now, Moturnigan Taylor is the track record holder at Miles City, going about 6 furlongs. All right, that'll do it for our Friday night selections. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. For those of you that kind of joined in halfway, let's get those pencils and pens ready. Here's going to be a list of our selections. We'll start off with Mike's picks.
Your picks up first, I believe. Yep, there we go.
There we go. Our picks for Friday night. I start with a 7, Vying Tiger, followed up by the 1 and 5 in the first race. In the second, I went 1, 2, and 5. I'm going to call for a bit of an upset with the 1 Full Power Ad. The third race, I like the speedy number 3, El Nacho. I went 3, 1, and 2. In the fourth race, I went to the 3, Classy Edge, taking some class drop. Hopefully it is a class edge for him, over the 4 and 9. In the fifth race, I went with the 2, Oh to Be Lucky, speedy guy out of the Pat Jarvis barn. I went 2, 7, 6. In the feature, I went with the dropping number 4, Heavenly Chorus. I went 4, 3, and 6. And in the seventh and final, I went to the 8, Passion Red, over the 6 and 3.
And up come my picks. There we go. In the first, I agree with Mike. I went with the 7, Vying Tiger, over the 1 and 5. The second race, I went with number 5, Peace Bear, over the 2 and 1. The third race, I went with number 4, Notice Sal, over the 5 and 3. Fourth race, number 9, Waif, on top of 3 and 4. The fifth race, I took the old campaigner, Victim of Love, number 7, over 2 and 1. The sixth race, agree with Mike again here on Heavenly Course. Probably best bet of the day, 4, 5, 6. And in the seventh race, I went with number 6, Swangs, over the 3 and 8.
Well, that'll do it for our Friday night selections here on Handicappers Corner. Thank you, everyone, for joining in today. We wish everyone lots of luck in your investments on, hopefully it clears up and becomes a very nice Friday night. And don't forget, Saturday, the Belmont.
Big day Saturday, one of the biggest days in years around these parts. Very exciting.
And we do have an interview, or actually a press conference with Mario Gutierrez that you can click on. Please do check that out. He was here at the Derby Bar and Grill last week.
Last Thursday,
yeah. Just last week, and had a lot of the press had a chance to talk to him, and Mario was gracious enough to spend quite a bit of time with them, and as usual, was very eloquent and honest, and he's
just great on the press.
He's been so calm.
Yeah.
You think he's done this his whole life, a 40-year veteran or something, answering the press's questions. But I think you'll enjoy that, so please do click on, check it out, the Mario Gutierrez press conference from here at the Derby Bar and Grill. Well, that'll do it for our Friday edition. Thanks for joining us. Please tune in. We do have Saturday and Sundays still to go this weekend. Good luck, everyone, and we'll see you next time here on Handicappers Corner.
He went by a according to this here in the telegram. Epitaph. I got the horse.